And we're live in Resonant Essentials, the group. Welcome, Phoenix, our newest practitioner to Resonant Essentials.
Hi.
How are you this morning?
I am so wonderful. How are you?
I am feeling all glowy and exciting getting to share this morning.
Have you had your coffee?
Got it right here.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
I like my coffee in sections too. I start at 3:00 and I end right about this is my last cup. And I only have
Oh,
3 cups.
wow. Yeah, that will hold you for the whole day. If you
Yeah,
start
3
at
cups
3
of coffee and I'm good.
I think so.
So you're up in beautiful Santa Fe and you're going to be working with us remotely.
Mm-hmm.
So people will be able to get in touch with you. We've got a little glitch in the website calendar, but I'll have that fixed today so they can reach out should they desire. But you do amazing readings and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for saying so. I appreciate that. And I'm so happy to be a part of your your clan, your tribe of wonderful, wonderful humans doing this work for others. And I feel like I couldn't be more fortunate to have found you. And so I appreciate that.
Fortune. I think it was spirit guide to spirit guide going.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. It
Well,
is a blessed connection.
it is. And you were at our psychic fair, but more importantly, you came into the center and we did a reading on me. And I want to tell everyone. So if you guys, first off, let me tell everyone who's watching, if you have questions for Phoenix, please put them in the comments section. I will periodically check and we will answer questions. But I want to tell everyone about the first encounter I had with your wonderful, beautiful spiritual energy. I do an interview with everybody to make sure that they're on target with the work that they proclaim they can do. And you said, let me hold your hands. You had gotten some water and rubbed it in my hands. And you said, relax, relax. You had my left hand and you said, relax, relax. And I was like, oh, okay, I can relax. So finally my arms started feeling this warmth climb up it. And all of a sudden my whole body started going into this relaxed mode. And I have to tell you, not only did I get a beautiful reading, but I got this healing that went with it all the way to the core of my beingness.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I felt so loved. So the reading that you give also comes with these big buckets of love. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing that. I think that that's so critical. I don't um I don't know what a dry reading is, but I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to perform one or offer one to anyone. And I think that for me it is the excitement from Osara. I think she's so excited to talk to people and that this is her first opportunity here in the United States to do that and to just be able to um, just to communicate. I just think she gets so excited, and that excitement transfers to me, obviously, the one who's being her voice, I guess you would say, and she's so full of love. She's a mother deity, and so she's just completely filled with compassion and love, and I'm so glad that that transfers when I'm doing it because at times there's sometimes two tracks going on, my own mind and her voice. And I'm thinking, okay, I am I saying this correctly? And sometimes she'll say things, and you think, well, I don't think I want to say that. And but that's my mind, and then her voice is repeating what I should say, and I'll just go ahead and say it, and I'm like, okay, I said it. You don't know how the person is going to respond because the reality is that I don't know anything about the person I'm talking to. It's Osara who knows. And it's Osara who is informing me through this relationship that I have with her. And that just, it's a wonderful relationship that I have with her. So that part of being, I guess, I guess my sense of excitement because I'm, having this relationship with her and enjoying that so much. And this is a new level. This is a different, um, how do we say it? This is a something like a coming forward in my relationship with her. I've been Yeye Olamo Osara for, it'll be 11 years in December. December 2nd was
Wow.
the day that I was coordinated. My coordination was 11, will be 11 years ago this December. And so it was my birthday. And I remember it was my 50th birthday. And it was just so, I don't know, phantasmal to do. And it was done in Nigeria. And I had already been living there for a year. And so this was my first encounter with her. I had been asked by the chief of the Osara shrine if I would serve as a chief. And I thought, I don't know what that means. I'm not sure. And then I thought, well, can we have? And he's like, well, you have to do this and you have to do this. And then there'll be a coming out, a coronation. And I was like, can it be on December 2nd? And he said, sure. He was like, why? I was like, it's my 50th birthday. And what better way to celebrate your 50th birthday
Yeah,
than
that's
becoming the chief?
marvelous.
I was like, I always try to do something I've never done before. So that's how it began. And then I started from there, the training and the knowledge and learning how to communicate with her, learning how to, gain her assistance, learning how to pray to her. All of these things are so critical in the African tradition that I practice. And so when I decided to come to Santa Fe, she said, well, you know what you're going to do there? And I was like, no, got no idea. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there except for I'm going. She's like, well, when you go, you're gonna work as a psychic. And I was like, you sure about that? I'm like, are you really sure? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm. She was, really sure. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. And I did do this type of work years ago and hadn't done it for a very, very long time. And she was like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be just fine. Just do exactly what I say. Like a true mother, just do what I say do. And so she began to just um guide me into what should my table look like, what should I do, how should I communicate with people, holding people's hands, having the water. All of these things are not my invention. They are directives from
Right.
Osara to me as to how to present this, how to engage it respectfully, and offer the information that people need to hear, and to make sure that I do that. And I so appreciate that you recognize the love. And so it's like, make sure I do that with love and do that with compassion. And so I just really appreciate that you actually that's being what's the word, emitted or conveyed, and that you're feeling that. And so thank you very
It
much.
it was such an amazing opportunity to experience that I can only describe it. I had a dream one time, and I'll never forget this dream. I had got back in spirit, and my guide, Raven, told me, okay, welcomed me into this house. And there was a grandmother there. And it was my grandmother, past life, okay,
Hmm.
into her home. And I don't remember if it was, I think it was a Hogan, but maybe it was a teepee. I'm not sure. But it was back in the day, and I was there, and she had me put my head in her lap, and she rubbed my head, and she said, whenever you need to feel love, whenever you need to feel safe and whenever you need healing, come home.
Mm.
And that's the energy I felt through you. What I could have been right with her with through you and Osara, I felt that same level of love, peace, and containment of all that is in such a beautiful way that it's not that I don't feel love from other people, but it's a very different, and I want people to understand that it's not anything that anybody else is any less accurate. It's that with you, I get a bonus.
Right, right. You
The
do. You get the
bonus of
bonus of
being
love. That's so beautiful.
reminded.
Yeah, that's wonderful. The thing about Osara, so just to give you a little background about her, she is the one of the most ancient of African deities. She was, based on the Yoruba cosmology, she was, present at the dawn of creation because she's water. She is the very essence of water. So any water, the water in our bodies, the water that we see, the water underground, all water is Osara, and she was viewed. It's a long story, and I'll try to make the story short. But Osara had 200 children, so and that's a lot of kids.
A lot of birthing beds.
It's a lot of kids. Yeah. She also sometimes when I am working with her, she'll remind me, like if I'm like we have a time in the day to work together. And if I'm a little late, she'll say, I got a lot of kids. You got to show up on time because I got a lot of kids. And I'm like, okay, I'm
Whoops.
sorry, I'm here, and I don't know all those children. I don't know who they are, fish, whatever. I don't know, but anyway, so she had 200 children, and she was moving about amongst the people who were newly populating the planet, and she was asked by another deity whose name is Olokun, and Olokun was the wife of the king. And Olokun was very wealthy, had her business was beads, to trade. She traded beads. So she was exceedingly wealthy. She was married to the king. She's very, very beautiful. But she lacked one thing. She was barren. And so she went to Osara, who was her best friend, and they're both waters. They're both Olokun is considered the ocean and the depths of the ocean, the deep, deep, deep secrets of the ocean would be Olokun. And so Osara um, receives Olokun's request, which is marry the king, be my co-wife, marry the king so that he can have a child. And so, it's a very common thing, you know, maybe not in 2022, but anyway, so she does this. And I mean, I don't know, it can still be common in some parts of the world. But anyway, so she does this and she bears a son. And so she is the mother of 2001 children.
Wow.
And this 2001 is very significant. So she's the mother of 2001 children. That one son being his name was Okandi, and he is the son of the king and he was the only son of the king, and so he ends up having seven children, and his children, there are seven children. I think there's three girls and four boys or whatever, but those seven children then go out into the world and populate what is now considered Yoruba land. So all the dynastic towns and communities of the Yoruba people were once ruled by the children of Okandi. And again, he being the son of the original king, Oduduwa, of the land. So there's this line of royalty, but at the same time, she then gets the title Mother of Us All. And so that's what my title translates to. Yeye Olomo Osara of Ile Ife is mother of us all. And so when people see me, not in America per se, but in Nigeria when I go, this is how I'm greeted. Yeah, 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 oh, yeah, 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 oh. And it's always with this, sort of like, mommy, 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 I need this. Or mommy, how are you? Mommy, can you help me? Mommy, it's just one way or another because of this notion of what a mother is supposed to do for her children and what a mother has in her wheelhouse of energy and ashe for her children. And so this is what I've been um uh I don't know how to initiate it with to have. And so to then have this and to do this in North America, because in North America, while we do have some of the Orisha and deities here that came with the transatlantic slave trade, Osara wasn't one of them. At least so far, history hasn't revealed that she was one of those deities that migrated into the New World, like some of the other deities that went to Cuba and Puerto Rico and North America and South America and so forth. So I am one of the first people to bring her to America, and it begins with these readings that I'm doing. And at some point, it will be, more and more as she reveals more to me as to what she wants to do and how she wants to be represented. But we are all, everyone who serves a deity serves them in a particular way and serves them in the way that that deity has prescribed for you to serve her. And so this is my way. This is what she has prescribed for me to do the readings, to represent her and represent her voice and her energy in this way to for people. And so it's really an honor, it's a privilege, it's a joy, and it's fascinating. I mean, I came back from the psychic affair on Sunday and I sat in my car for an hour and I was just like, Ma, how did you how did all that happen? How, that was amazing. And at times I just thought, oh, I don't know, am I doing this right? And but people's confirmation, when people recognize what she's saying to them and they're able to make that connection with her message, and they're able to see how it fits into their lives, and that's just so beautiful. And I'm just like, it's kind of like I'm just a hitching post, in a sense. This is where
Yeah.
so maybe I'm a little more than a hitching
Let's not
post.
call you a hitching post, more like a loving vessel.
I'm outside looking at a tree and I'm thinking, what is the metaphor for this? Okay, I'm not really a hitching post, but in that sense, it's like I'm a human conduit, I think, and it's hard to explain because it's based. It's not, we in our English, I don't think that we have the words for it exactly. But in an African traditional sense, it is that it's the, how can I explain it? Whatever you're called to do becomes your veneration of that deity. And so my work with people to do quote unquote psychic work, that's my veneration of Osara. So anytime I sit down to hold someone's hand and to do a reading, that's a form of my veneration for her. And then she in turn is giving me the information to share with people that are helping them to connect things that they need in their lives. So that's better. So that's better than a hitching post.
Much better, much better. I agree.
That's better.
I laugh. The timing is so wonderful. Because one of the goals that I've always had for Resonant Essentials is to bring cultures' spiritual enlightenment from their own spirit, the spiritual practice of each culture, so that people can learn. And I think that one of the biggest mistakes that we make is by tying ourselves to um, a strict religious dogmatic approach. And we have all lost so much in the translation of those religious practices from the true spiritual culture that we come from. And
Mm-hmm.
that I think that is important is because I believe through reincarnation and many lives lived, that I have been in every culture and over eons of generations and civilizations that stretch beyond the imagination, because I know that I'm an eternal metaphysical multidimensional being of love.
Right.
And have you come in at this time is it's such an honor, because I believe that as the people come into Resonant Essentials, the practitioners that are supposed to be there to be showing their cultural spiritual practices, their culture's practices, um, it alleviates confusion. It sings to our spirit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it does away with that Piscean, dogmatic, patriarchal things that we're still contending with in this life. And I think that this is our time for the light to grow bright. And I welcome you with
Yeah.
open arms and hope that Osara decides that you'll teach about her.
That would be wonderful. That would be nice. I would love to do that. I haven't. This is a golden opportunity for me because I haven't done that in all the 10 years that I've been serving her. It has just been a very private practice, very, very private. And so this expansion, this notion that I'm going to publicly engage her and publicly present her is it's new, but it feels so natural. It feels so wonderful. And I remember when I after meeting you and I came home, and I think at the drive home I called my sister and I was like, I'm on cloud nine. It was amazing. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did this. And it was just so it was just so exhilarating. It's so each time, every time I do a reading, there's this exhilaration of electricity that's running through me, and I have to sort of maybe contain myself so that I can communicate with the person I'm working with, and they don't think that I've like left it or something. But I am. I'm so excited, and I'm so thrilled, and I'm filled with her energy is just flooding through me, and it's just, it was amazing because I remember on Sunday someone said, do you want to take a break? And I was like, no, I'm fine. But I probably should have taken a break, but I did. I did take a break. So excited. I was like, no, I don't need a break. I'm fine. No.
Well, Brother Francis told me, he sends me this little text. It wasn't a little text message. He sends me a message of this guy dancing, and he goes, this is how I'm still feeling after yesterday, because
Oh yeah.
it was pumped, it was going, people were coming in, we were being of service, the flow,
Yeah. It was, yes. It was a room of love and harmony. It was really nice. At first, like I thought, okay, I had never been in a situation where, so not only am I trying to hear Osara and communicate with the person in front of me, but there are other practitioners around, and they're talking and they're doing their thing, and you're like, oh, okay, I've got to tune in. I've got to focus and not hear this. And I think at some point someone said the word cat, and I thought, all right, that wasn't Osara, that was someone else. And so it's just, I was trying to go, okay, I don't want to ask the person about a cat. This is. So it's interesting, and I think people don't understand that even though this is a spiritual process, there's something cosmically happening at the same time. we're human beings.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
human beings. We're doing what we're doing. We have our individual, good, bad, and indifferences, and we still have our human mind that we're operating in while this is happening, and it's really a melding, a synthesis. It's a synthesis of beings, basically. Your being, the deity that you're working with, the spirits that are coming in and working with you, and all the other beings around you. And so it's like this, it's almost like a spirit rave of some sort.
Well,
Rave.
Brian said, I didn't feel 1 ounce of negativity. He goes, this is marvelous, because I think sometimes our egos can get in the way, but I didn't feel one ego out of place this weekend.
No, me neither. I think that everyone realized this, and everyone that was there, I think, they felt like I felt. Like I understand that I'm a human being, and I understand that I've been gifted with the opportunity to convey something that is coming from some other dimension in the world, and that you have to do that with a clean heart.
Yes.
You have to do that with a clean heart.
And
Don't say it's not possible to do otherwise, because obviously people do it, but the best way to do it is to do it with a clean heart. And that's what I felt from everyone else in the room. And I think that also helped to stay in focus, because there's a lot of chatter going on. I mean, it's not a very big space. And so there's a lot of chatter, and it was very interesting to me to hear that. And I had to think through that. And I'm like, okay, how am I gonna hear?
Just so you know, Brian told me he's an audio guy, and he's going to help me soundproof the space a little better. I've got they should be delivered today, so maybe I'll get him. We'll be working on that this afternoon, along with the other pile of stuff I've got to do.
You got a list.
We can but try. But anyway, anybody wants to get in touch with you, because I know, let me check to see if there is any messages. My dear friend Tracy says hello and welcome to you.
Thank you.
She's another love bucket that crosses my path and keeps me on the helps me keep the focus going for Resonant Essentials. I mean, we all come in there and we all have that support if we let people show up for us. People that has showed up for me on so many levels. I just love her to death. I hope one day you'll get to meet her.
Oh, that'd be nice. Thank you.
And she is amazing. So, but if anybody wants to get in touch with you, they can go to the Resonant Essentials website and click on your calendar. We're going to be working with that. I'm going to call you, because as we've had some website glitches, but I can set up your calendar for the next few weeks according to your schedule. And so we'll have that done by this afternoon.
Okay.
And, they can book appointments with you, and they can see you again in another psychic fair. And hopefully, because you're also a professor of anthropology, are you not?
I'm actually a professor of art. I have a degree. I have 2 degrees. I have a degree in medical anthropology, and I use it mostly in my art and in my understanding of the world. But I don't actually teach it. But what I teach art. I teach at Tougaloo College in Mississippi, and I teach at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island.
Wow.
And I teach a variety of art courses, from African American art history, art appreciation. I teach experimental sculpture courses at Brown. I also teach the African American art history class at Brown. And then I run a art and social practice program at Tougaloo in the mass communications department, where I have a core set of classes that deal with art and social practice.
Wow,
So yes.
we're like double honored to have you.
So yeah, so I guess I mean, I guess for myself as a human being, I'm a scholar. And my, spiritual practice and traditions are in the Yoruba Ifa tradition out of Nigeria, and that is the two things are the two things aren't separate. They're very much my artwork is very spiritual, and my process with my art is very spiritual, and my spiritual stuff, I guess, I be very creative about my process, or when I hit up my shrine, just very creatively touch things, because I have an eye for aesthetics, and I want that beauty to be a part of it. And I think that there's a certain spirituality that is a part of aesthetics and beauty. So I
Do
like
you
melding
sell
the two.
do you sell your art, your spiritual art?
Yeah, I make sculptures. I work in cast iron and cast bronze,
Wow.
and I'm sort of, and I do large scale installations. So mostly I have museum exhibitions, and
Well,
museum exhibitions don't really sell things, but for the most part, I exhibit at museums and university galleries and so forth. So it's more of an educational process that's associated with the work and the sharing. But people have purchased my work. You can find my work on my website, which is just my, under my name, Phoenix Savage. And I think here in Santa Fe, I'll be doing everything now is different for me. I've moved here. I need to figure out how does that affect my art. Location changes things for you, and so I have a more, I have a more engaging spiritual practice that's now public, whereas it's been private.
came out of the closet.
No, I'm not positive. Exactly. I have this very public spiritual practice. So that's one thing. But also, my art is changing. I think I'm going to transition some of my sculptural things into small metal works, and I need to kind of, figure that out and move with that. But things are different. Things are changing, and things are better. Things are so much better for me. So just keep, go to my website or your website and sign up in some form of way where you can continue to get notices about me. And as these changes take place, people will be able to be a part of it and see it, and be able to support the changes and enjoy the changes and engage the changes.
Right, right. Well, I got to tell you, Tracy just popped in and she said her son Liam went to Brown. Tracy is she's one of my other hidden jewels of knowledge, right? So when my son passed away, she and her son Liam came and stayed with me for a week to help me get through one of the worst times of my life. And so and her son went to Brown. So maybe you guys walked across campus together.
Never know. I don't know when he was there. I've been teaching there mostly in the summertime since 2015. So I do these, they have a summer at Brown program. And so I do that program pretty much every summer. Missed out during COVID naturally, and didn't really want to do it online. And so I was back this time, and I did a class on environmental studies and art. And so it was really fun. And so I love it because the students that I get come from all over the world. And the fact that they would come from Taiwan or Canada or someplace to be in my class, it's like, you did really? You don't know me. You came just to take this class. And it's quite humbling. It's so wonderful and quite humbling.
You're a very accomplished, a very amazing woman, a testament to all that can be if we just follow our path.
Exactly.
And it's such an honor to have you connected with the center. So now that you have spilled the beans on everything that you do in detail, we're going to talk.
Okay. Let's
See
talk.
how we can make this connect.
I think there's a strong collaboration that's going to continue to develop between you and I'm so excited about that. I absolutely adore you. I love your energy, and because I really just Googled. So let me just tell you how I found you. So when I got here, I mean, I knew what Osara told me to do, but I didn't know. I was like, well, how am I going to do that? So I was just lying in bed one day, and I thought, okay, well, I'm here. All right, good. I've gotten here. All right. Road trip, everything is great. And I'm like, okay, Osara said, go be a psychic. I was like, okay, okay.
Here I am, a renowned artist. Go be a psychic.
And so then it occurred to me, I was like, oh, wait, they do psychic fairs in this place. They do psychic fairs. So I Googled psychic fairs, and one woman came up, and here in Santa Fe, so I reached out to her, and no response whatsoever. I don't think she's around anymore. Um, and so then I think I tried another Google, did it again, and then I saw you, and so I reached out to you, and you immediately replied, and you told me about the whole audition thing, and I thought, well, that's really great, and I think people should do that. I mean, you'll be vetted, and that's great. And I thought, oh, that's scary as hell. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I've never done this. I don't know. So I just, prayed about it, and Osara was like, it's all good. Because I even said to her, I said, so you're telling me that I should just drive there and show up and speak to her. And she's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. And she's like, take the water and just show up. And I mean, that's really exactly what I did. And I thought, oh, okay, but it worked. And so she's right. And so you have to follow the guidance that's given to you.
You
And,
do.
and that it's not here to mislead you. It's here to enrich your life in terms of just the beauty, the people that you meet, the people that are then going to welcome you. And you were so welcoming. I could not believe how embracing you were. And I thought, this is where I belong. This is it. This
You belong with us. We're gonna
yeah.
keep you forever.
Yeah. And so I'm thrilled about that. I'm thrilled about, Osara talking to me and guiding me, and not, and just leading me where I need to be. And the thing that as a human, getting to that point in your life as a human where you trust that, that's not easy. Our society doesn't ask you or teach us how to trust. It just doesn't teach us. It teaches us how to be skeptical, how to be weary, how to be cautionary, but it doesn't actually teach us how to trust. And then to say, okay, I'm going to trust in this thing that I can't see. Don't I don't really know where it actually is, or how, whatever. So in my tradition, you get to learn how to identify the energy and how to communicate with it and how to venerate it. And you go through, years and years of training to work with these energies and to bring these energies forward, because the whole point of them is to be here for the people. And so I'm finally able to do that on behalf of Osara, and that's really beautiful.
It's such a joy.
Thank you.
We're going to embrace you and keep you forever. I want you to
Love
keep
it.
January 1st open, because you will be back in Albuquerque January 1st to bring in the new year with the rest of us on a potluck. So don't forget the date.
January 1st. Okay. I'm going to work that out. Okay. Yes.
All righty, dear. We're going to end.
Okay.
Let me double check to see if there's any more questions. Tracy says she's going to reach out to you, and you probably have people in common.
Oh,
And
nice.
you'll love her. She is absolutely a doll. She's amazing. I can't speak highly enough of her. And you'll know when you talk to her.
That's always a blessing.
So thank you, my dear. I love you. I will see you in 3 weeks or so for the next
Hmm.
fair in November.
Hmm.
I will be in touch with you here after we hang up here off the computer. I'm going to call you to get your time schedule.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so
All right.
much. Thank you for doing this. Love you. Thank you.
Love
Have a
you.
great day.
Cheers.
All right, hon. Bye-bye.
Bye now.